Hi, good morning. Today we have another problem with peripheral nervous system, and the problem involves polyneuritis. Okay. Now, for coding purposes, some words are slightly different than others, but for coding purposes, they mean exactly the same thing. In the case of polyneuritis, it's exactly the same thing as saying polyneuropathy. By examining the word, the pathy means disease condition and the itis means inflammation, which would be a little different because this is a specific disease condition, this is a general disease condition, but for coding purposes, it's the same. Now, how can you prove that it's the same? If you go to the coding book here and we look for polyneuritis, this is polyneuritis right here, it says see also polyneuropathy. And if we're gonna try, for instance, polyneuritis alcoholic is G62.1. If we try a little further down here, polyneuropathy alcoholic is exactly the same, G62.1. Which means what we wrote here, the polyneuritis alcoholic is G62.1 and polyneuropathy alcoholic is G62.1, exactly the same code. So for coding purposes, polyneuropathy is exactly the same as polyneuritis. Okay? Now, we have done already the theory for polyneuropathy, so we're not going to do a theory for polyneuritis. We're going to go straight to the problem. Okay, let's read the problem again. The problem is peripheral polyneuritis, severe, due to chronic alcoholism. Okay? And now we have made here the path on the computer, and I'm going to go step by step on the path. Okay, now the first line is the code that you're going to find the video in YouTube. Just in case that you want to know where the video is, this is the code. You just type this on the window for YouTube and you will find the video for this problem. The second line is the text of the problem. It says peripheral polyneuritis severe due to chronic alcoholism. After that, we have some tips of how do you solve this problem. In first place, there are certain words. Coding is not an exact science, it's more like an art. Sometimes there are words that you have to ignore because there is no exact coding representation. In this case, ignore the word severe because there is no way in the path that you're going to find severe, right? So polyneuritis is by itself a severe condition. So ignore severe. The second one is that what it says, the second tip is that it says due to chronic alcoholism. Chronic alcoholism needs an extra code for the condition. It's not that it was just due to alcoholic, because due to alcoholic would be that just for one time there was a lot of alcoholic consumption and that's where the problem originated. No, this is a chronic alcoholism, or it's a condition. It's a condition that is always there. It means the patient is an alcoholic. So you need an extra code for that. So we need two codes. Here's code 1 and code 2, right? For the code 1, we need to go to the index and the tabular. The first way to go to the index is this way. You go to the index, you go to polyneuritis, you go to alcoholic, and you get the code, G62.1. There's an alternative to doing this. That's why we call it code 1XA. You go to the index, you go to polyneuritis, and it says see also polyneuropathy. You go to polyneuropathy, peripheral, which is there, in due to alcohol, and the code is G62.1, the same one, right? So these two lines are just to find the code for polyneuritis alcoholic in the index. Now the 1T is for the code 1, the tabular. And how do you do the tabular? You go to the tabular, you start with the first 3 digits, G62, which is other and unspecified polyneuropathies, right? And after G62, you add one more digit because you're just checking, and 662.1 is alcoholic polyneuropathy, which is exactly what we want. That's what the equal sign means. That's the code. Now, the second code is the alcoholism. Code 2 is the alcoholism. So the index for this second code is you go to the index, you go to alcoholism, it says chronic there, and you find this code F10.20. Now you have to check it in the tabular. So for the code, the tabular is you go to the tabular, you go to F10, which is the first three characters, is alcohol-related disorders, and then you add one digit, F10.2, alcohol dependence. F10.20 is alcohol dependence uncomplicated because there's no more information about what type of alcoholism it is. So this is the final code. So you are checking this code as the second code. So the answer is 1 and 2 codes. The first code is G62.1 and the second code is F10.20. Okay? Now, if this is a little complicated, you just gotta repeat the video and you're gonna find that everything makes sense if you listen to it maybe one or twice. Now, I'm gonna take the camera and Stephanie's gonna do real quick the actual coding of these paths. We start with the path 1, right? Let's get a shot. Stephanie's gonna do this, right? Go to index, then
polyneuritis,
and then
alcoholic,
and you get
G62.1.
all right.
Here's polyneuritis.
Mm-hmm.
Here.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go down, alcoholic,
Mm-hmm.
G62.1.
Okay, we got that. Now, how about the 1XA?
The alternative?
The alternative.
Okay, you go to the index,
Mm-hmm.
then go to polyneuritis,
Mm-hmm.
see also polyneuropathy,
Mm-hmm.
then go polyneuropathy peripheral,
Mm-hmm.
and due to alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
G62.1.
Okay, do that.
This is polyneuropathy
Yeah.
peripheral,
Referral.
and due to
And the 2,
alcohol.
which is the same code, right? G62.1. Okay, now we're gonna check in the tabular with 1T, right?
Right.
How do we check it?
Jim, go to G62.
Okay, we start with the first 3.
6, 2, which would be here.
Right, and then
Outer unspecified polyneuropathies, and then we go to 1, alcoholic polyneuropathy.
which will confirm the first code, right? G62.1. Okay? Now we're gonna do code 2.
All right. We go to alcoholism. We go
Can you explain first
here.
Yeah.
Go to the index.
Right.
Go to alcoholism.
Uh-huh.
Then go to chronic. Well, alcoholism
It says
chronic.
Uh-huh.
Then you get the code F10.20.
Okay, let's do that. Where is it?
Here we go. Alcoholism.
Alcoholism, right? Chronic. Right?
And then F10.20.
Right. We don't have any extra information. That's what they ignore. That whether it says with or Korsalov's, those additional codes because we don't have any information. It just says alcoholic, chronic alcoholism, right? So that would be the index. Now the tabular to check that.
Okay.
Can you explain first in there?
Okay. First you go to tabular.
Uh-huh.
Then you go to F10.
Because those are the 3 first characters, right?
Right.
And then
you go to F10.2.
right.
Then you go to F10.20 for the whole thing. That's where you get your answer.
Okay, do that.
First we go to F10. F10, alcohol-related disorders.
Okay.
Then we go to F10.2. Here we go, alcohol dependence.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go to F10.20, alcohol dependence uncomplicated.
Uncomplicated because we don't have any more information, right? So then we don't have any information about complications. So it's F10.20. So we have those 2 codes. And as a last check, we go to the book and see if that's the answer, right? Can you take the sticky out? And then, where is it? It's this one, yeah? Peripheral polyneuritis. And the answer is G62.1 plus F10.20. Thank you for watching.